And it's not Jesus, it's Yahawashi. And that's why it's so important to know those names, believe in those names, call on those names. You know? And you're going to have those that teach against that name, that when they find themselves in a very precarious predicament or position, they're going to be calling on those names. And guess what? The Lord ain't going to hear them. You know? That's why it says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Because there's going to be a point where the Lord is not going to be found. So it behooves you to get down now, you know, while there's still time. But that time is slowly but surely running out. All right, so like I said, that was, you know, our people will not understand with a question mark. All you have to do is, if a person doesn't speak the Hebrew language, that's okay. You tell them the name Yahawah, the name Yahawashi, you explain to them what it means, and that's the name you call upon. And when you pray, you say Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. And then you make your request or your petition known to the Lord. Yahawah, Yah is he, Hawa is to be or exist, Ba is in, Ha is the, Sham is name, BAHASHAM. So Yahawah in the name, Yahawashi. Yahi, Hawashi is deliverer or savior. So Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, and then you go ahead and put your petition in. Yahawah in the name of Yahawashi, and then whatever your request is, you make your request known to the Lord. And it's just that simple. How long did that take to explain? You didn't have to go to the lexicon and this, okay, well, let me get this book and get the, you know, go get the scrolls, you know, and then, all right, now we need a 15-hour course, you know, to break this whole, no. It could be broken down in less than a minute. And the person that's listening, either they receive it or they don't. And the only reason we would use the name Jesus or Christ is just to say who you ignorantly call so-and-so and such and such. All right, so with that, I pray that your brothers have been edified. Till the next time I say Shalom.
Shalom, HALALYAM, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that ruled well and taught us this truth through the Spirit. Shalom to you, sincere Akim out here laboring, making your bodies living sacrifices. You know, pushing the word on truth and sincerity. To you, Akim Wa'akwatium, listening and learning, being doers of the word, being deeply rooted in the faith. And to the speckled birds scattered abroad that look like the other nations, but are truly Yasharallah Shalom. I want to go into, you know, just like Apostle Ariam Lab said, the names are important. The importance of the names, and it's very simple to understand. If you can receive it, it shouldn't be a stumbling block to you, for you to grasp or comprehend the, it's simplistic, it's really simplistic how important the names are and why we use the names and what their names are, and how it's clearly not God, it's clearly not Jesus, it's clearly not Jehovah, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yehovah, or whatever else these people have been saying, And I also want to show you guys this website. I'm going to link in the description for you as a resource for the Hebrew language, the Paleo Hebrew, which another Ak was bringing out. I wish I could remember his name, but I forgot. But I'll link that video down in the description as well, if I can find it, Lord willing. Abaratazak. But he went into it and said, Salakia, what did he say? He said, he was going into the names as well. Damn. If I remember, I'll go into it. That happens to me all the time, but I'll remember. But yeah, he was going into the names as well. Ultimately, you're not gonna, you call on that name, you're not gonna be, you can't be saved with these false names. You know, either the Lord is gonna want you and he's gonna show the name to you and you're gonna learn it and you're gonna use it, or he's not dealing with you and you're gonna keep on calling on Caesar Borgias and all these fake, pagan, evil, so-called white devil names. Alright, but I'm gonna show you, this is the website that I was talking about. Alright, it's called Havarazi, you know, / Hebrew language. Now this website was actually taken down. When I look it up, how I would normally always look it up, it would not show up. So I went into the Internet Archive Wayback Machine and put the link in there, and I was able to. It popped up. Apparently, it was up from 2018 to 2019. So yeah, like 2 years ago, it was just gone, and I didn't know. I didn't know why. But thankfully, we have this, and I was able to save this link, and I still send it out to people, to Akim and Akwatium, you know, now, so that they can learn, you know, different Hebrew words. There's plenty of common, you know, Hebrew words in this Hebrew word glossary that he put at the bottom or near the bottom of the page, you know, for each letter. These are all transliterations of how to pronounce. So he went into it right here. Translation changes letters to another languages to give the understanding of the word. It tells you the meaning of words in another language. A transliteration changes the letters from one alphabet or language into the corresponding similar sounding characters of another alphabet. It does not tell you the meaning of the words, but it helps you pronounce them. So really, if you were looking at translations, you would see the Paleo Hebrew oh yeah, I remember. The YAHAWAH and His. Paleo. The brother was saying paleo means old. The word paleo means old or ancient. Okay? And then it goes into the Paleo Hebrew here. Alright? Which is the Lashon Kodash, or pure tongue. You know, the pure language. Or holy tongue, holy language. So yeah, you would see the Paleo Hebrew characters right here, and then you would see the English word right there, and that would be a translation. But the fact that this says Masab in English letters, but it's still pronounced, it shows you how to pronounce the Hebrew characters, alright, in English letters. That's what a transliteration is. But just because I read Masab, or if I go and I write, you know, Akim, I call somebody Ak, right? They're not gonna know what this means unless they already know what it means. All that is a transliteration. The word Ak means brother, you know, but you would have to know that in order to know, you know, what these transliterations mean. So when you look at the name Yahawah, alright, Yahawah, this is a transliteration. That doesn't, we're not going to know what Yahawah means just by looking at it. We have to know that Yah, which would be Y-A-H, Yah means he. Hawa means exist. Okay? And these are the Hebrew letters right here for Yahawah. This is YAHAWAH. That's how you would pronounce it. Well, you would pronounce it Yahawa, because that last letter of the words, you know, because they're all made up of you know, the same sounds. All, you know, AH, whether it be Ra, Cha, Ka, Sha, Ya, you know, Wa, Pa. That's how all the letters are structured. And then there is I, as you can, you know, with words like this, like I, or Rai, being where is it? Bad or evil. Rai. We have the letter Rai. Let me see if I can look it up. YAHAWASHI. Right, so I'm trying to look for the actual writing because I don't have it saved. There we go. So this is YAHAWAH, but this is YAHAWASHI. This letter is Sha. This is I. So you would pronounce it YAHAWASHI. Alright? Like I said, it's simple. Once you get into it, it's simple. Now you can look at this post posted by Zebulon144K on Instagram. Alright, like these are not these names. It's not these names. These are not their names. The names are YAHAWAH and YAHAWASHI. And yes, it does matter. So if you look at this, like this for example, Yahuwah. This is probably the closest false name there is out of all the false names, because it's literally the W sound, Wa, right? But you skipped a whole syllable. You skipped a whole letter. You only said Ya, and then Hua. They skipped Ha. Ya, Ha, and then Wa. Alright? These transliterations are whooping y'all asses. You skipped a whole letter by saying Yahuwah. That's why we constantly tell you people it's YAHAWAH. And the elders and apostles and, you know, on down have been breaking it down. People are literally ignoring me when I put the link right here for them to read. It's not just words. It's not just a Hebrew word glossary. It also tells you, you know, information behind it, the history behind it. These links, some of these links still work. You can still click on these links. Okay, it tells you that the modern Hebrew is that square script. Everything that looks like it's all in, you know, boxes and stuff. See this right here, this is the original language that we were using, the Phoenician. Okay. These links still work. You can still go into the history here. AncientHebrew.org. Some additional resources can be found on these excellent websites. And I'll put this website together too. You know, these still work. Well, some of them do. But it takes, you know, just a little bit of patience and research, and you'll find whatever you need to find. Okay? Let me read this right here. Alright? The Paleo-Hebrew alphabet is a variant of the Phoenician alphabet. Like the Phoenician alphabet, the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet contains 22 letters which are all consonants and is described as an abjad. Archaeological evidence of the use of the script by the Israelites for writing the Hebrew language dates to around the 10th century BC. The Paleo-Hebrew alphabet began to fall out of use by the Jews in the 5th century BC, when the Aramaic alphabet was adopted as the predominant writing system for Hebrew. Why? Because we were in captivity, and they didn't allow us to use our customs and continue practicing keeping our laws, statutes, and commandments as we would have. The present Jewish, so-called Jewish, square script Hebrew alphabet evolved from the Aramaic. The Samaritans, now fewer than 1,000 people, have continued to use a derivative of the Paleo-Hebrew known as the Samaritan alphabet, Phoenician. Called by convention the Proto-Canaanite alphabet for inscriptions older than 1050 BC, is the oldest verified alphabet. The Phoenician alphabet is an abjad consisting of 22 letters, all consonants, with matrix lectionis used for some vowels in certain late varieties. Used for the writing of Phoenician, a northern Semitic language used by the civilization of Phoenicia. It's derived from Egyptian hieroglyphs. It became one of the most widely used writing systems spread by Phoenician merchants across the Mediterranean world, where it evolved and was assimilated by many other cultures, and it's a local variant of the Phoenician alphabetical script. The Paleo-Hebrew is a local variant of the Phoenician alphabetical script. Another derivative script is the Aramaic, which was the ancestor of the modern Arabic script. The modern Hebrew script, also known as the Assyrian Hebrew, is a stylistic variant of the Aramaic script. The Greek alphabet, and by extension its descendants, such as Latin, Cyrillic, Runic, and Coptic, was also derived from Phoenician. Okay? And then Yiddish, which is, it tells you what it is. They use it, them Ashkenazic Jews, the fake Jews of Eastern Europe, which converted in 740 AD, and their descendants. It's a hybrid of Hebrew and medieval German. Okay? It takes about 3/4 of its vocabulary from German, but borrows words liberally from Hebrew and many other languages from the many lands where the Ashkenazic so-called Jews have lived. It has a grammatical structure all its own, and is written in an alphabet based off of Hebrew characters. Scholars in universities classify Yiddish as a Germanic language, and that goes into the Khazarian Empire, the Khazars, which converted, like how they say that Abraham Lincoln so-called freeing the slaves was a military move. The Khazarians converting to, quote unquote, converting to Judaism, that was also a military move, because the Israelites were, we were doing okay in between the Christians, the so-called Christians, and the so-called, or not so-called, but the Muslims, right? But the Khazarians, everywhere they went, they were doing some weird shit. So they had to do that to protect themselves. And then they pretty much stole our identity as time went on, and we, were subjected into captivity once again. 70 AD, the Romans did what they did, and we fled down to West Africa, and then we were sold by the Africans to, who we call today so-called white people. Alright, but that's, some history behind it. But what I wanted to get into pretty much was the names. Alright. Even if you don't look at all this, if you don't, study the language as much as you can, well, which you should, just the most important thing is the names, okay? you can see that these are, you know, the other languages forms of the wa sound. Alright. Semitic languages and letters for W and U sound. Alright. The Hebrew letter wa, written as a character similar to the shape Y, became the Greek upsilon, our letter U. The Latin inherited the upsilon shaped Y and dropped the lower stem, so the letter appears as V. Gladius is actually pronounced as gladius, even though it looks like a V. You can see that here, right? The original 1611 KJV, which brothers have, you can see right here. Well, it shows up backwards, but you can see what that is. The original 1611. If I go to Acts 4:24, which you can see on the screen right now, it shows the same thing. I'll go to Acts 4:24 real quick. Acts chapter 4. Alright, verse 24 right here. And when they heard that, they lifted up. You can see the up, the word up, has a V instead of a U. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'll show you on here too. And people will complain about, oh, you know, it's hard to read. The 1611 is too hard to read. I'm trying to get it to focus. Come on now. This shit. Oh, it's not focusing, but it's there. Alright, so you can see it says it uses a V, and then, okay, they lift up their voice to Yahawah with one accord and said, Lord, thou art Yahawah, thou art God, which hast made heaven. And you see the, you know, heaven instead of a, so it's pretty much flipped. The V's are U's and the U's are V's. Alright, in Old English, heaven and earth and the sea and all that in them is. Alright, so it's just flipped. Alright, and then here, you know, it's telling you, oh yeah, the tetragrammaton, which is YHWH, which is it's just another transliteration. But they didn't know that these had or I don't know if they knew or not, but it's just these four, really it just ends up being confusion, because you can easily write Yahawah. You don't have to just put those 4 letters. Yes, it's 4 letters in Paleo Hebrew, but the letters make sounds and in turn mean something. So transliterating it to English the way they did it, this is a foolish way. The tetragrammaton being a transliteration, the tetragrammaton as a transliteration was a foolish way of writing it, because it just allowed for everyone to put all these false names like Yahuwah and Yahweh and all this stuff. So just because they use those 4 letters, they think that they can get away with all these other different names. But we know that it is YAHAWAH, Yahawah. Okay? Virtually all translations from Judaism and Christianity use the Lord for the Hebrew name of Yahawah. The original pronunciation of the name can never be determined with complete accuracy, but in Hebraic thought, it is the meaning of a name that is more important than its pronunciation. The Hebrew Yahawah is the verb hawa, meaning to exist, with the prefix y or ya, meaning he. Therefore, the word Yahawah means he exists. That's how we know what the pronunciation is. Okay, so yeah, the meaning is more important. However, through the meaning and through the language, we determine how to pronounce it. So it's Yah and Hawa, meaning he exists. Okay? Not any of these other names. Alright, now let's look at the scriptures. Proverbs 30:4. I'm going into how important why the names are important. Alright. Proverbs 30:4. Who hath ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fists? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? Who did all these things? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Which is a cut on Old Testament only Israelites that say that YAHAWASHI is an idol. You don't read. And this just proves that you don't read. Nor do you go into the history, because I'm going to go into the Apocrypha as well. And it also mentions YAHAWASHI. And we know why the Apocrypha, which means hidden, the hidden books, were taken out by Protestants. Because pretty much, I don't know if it was Elder Malcolma or Elder... I believe it was Elder Malcolma that said that, the Apocrypha is just too straightforward. Pretty much. So that's why they removed them. They removed those books right in between the Old Testament and the New, because it was just too straightforward, pretty much. So what is his name and what is his son's name? Old Testament, OT only, Negro only. What is his son's name? If thou canst tell, which you obviously clearly can't, because you're in Old Testament only. Okay. Proverbs 18:10. The name of Yahawah is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. Now you'll have some Israelites hitting you with Revelation 3:12. Mainly you IUIC Israelites. I had an IUIC Israelite try to tell me on Twitter, we don't need the name right now. He's going to give us a brand new name. As if the Lord changes. What happened to Malachi 3:6? Let me get that. For I am the Lord. I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. The Lord does not change. Okay? Why would he change his name? That literally makes no sense. Why would he change his name? What sense does that make? Just like we say, he's not going to change who he's dealing with. Throughout the scriptures, throughout. Israel is by name spoken about. Just like he will not change who his chosen people are and who salvation is for. And what the fate and destiny of the heathens as well, especially Esau Edom is. Well, Esau is a heathen as well, but we mention him by name alone because he is the main devil out here. He is the devil's chosen people, Satan's chosen people. He's the devil, but just like he's not going to change who he's dealing with, just like he's not going to change his laws, statutes, and commandments and how we have to keep them in order to love him, and that is what love is, keeping the commandments. He's not going to change his name that we've been using to be delivered out of captivity over and over and over, and to worship him, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, over and over and over. What name were we using the whole time if that's not his name? What name were we using the whole time? How were we delivered every single time if we weren't using his name, his real true name? If Yahweh isn't his true name, and Yahawashi is not his son's true name, what the hell was going on throughout history? Since time immemorial, as they say. It makes no sense. So Revelation 3:11. Behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Red letters, this is Yahawashi speaking. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, which is Yahawah, and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from Yahawah, and I will write upon him my new name. Now, when you read this, it makes more sense that Yahawashi is saying that he has a new name. So, what new name for Yahweh are you talking about? Just on that surface level understanding. But when you really go into it, right, this is KJV with Strong's Concordance, Revelation 3:12. Alright. I'll write upon the name of my God. And then over here at the end, and I will write upon him my new name. This is the number 2537. Strong's G 2537. Alright. It means of uncertain affinity, new especially in freshness, while 3501 is properly so with respect to age. So new here in this context, in this verse, 25G 2537. This form of new is talking about a certain respect, in respects to a certain affinity. Uncertain affinity, like it just said, of uncertain affinity, meaning you niggas don't know his name, and you don't. Our people don't know his name. They're still going to church and calling on Jesus. They're still calling on white Jesus. Well, we don't even need to say white Jesus no more, because Jesus is white. It's Caesar Borgias. His name is Yahawashi, and it's always been Yahawashi, and he's always been a so-called dark-skinned black man, or a dark-skinned so-called black man. So they're out here calling on Jesus instead of calling on Yahawashi. They don't know his name. They don't know how important his name is. So this is as respects form, new, alright, recently made, fresh, recent, unused, unworn, as a respects substance of a new kind, unprecedented, novel, uncommon, unheard of. So this is basically a refresh, you know, a refreshing, a reminding, remember, okay, uncertain affinity, meaning it's been there, but you just didn't know it. Now when you click on G3501, this says including the comparative neoteros, a primary word new, i.e. of persons, youthful, or of things fresh, figuratively, regenerate, new, young. So this is brand new, youthful. That means this is young, this is new. Just like the letter J is new, as in young. Because it hasn't even been around for 1,000 years. It hasn't even been around for 500 years. Barely. The letter J is recent. So how can his name be Jehovah? And how is that a true transliteration. Well, you just translate the name to English, and that's why his name is Jehovah. You can't do that because you lose the original meaning of the name, which is he exists. You're going to lose the original. That's what it means, lost in translation. You're not calling upon Yahweh. You're calling upon an idol. You're using a fake, false Christian, Mormon, Jehovah Witness, or if you're saying Allah, you're saying a Muslim bullshit ass name. That's not his name. Okay, you have to use the original Hebrew, the original name. This, if it was G3501, then it would have been recently born, young, youthful, new. Okay, recently born, young, youthful. It's playing upon tables, bro. It's playing upon tables. But this one, G2537, says of uncertain affinity, meaning niggas just don't know it. Spiggers just don't know it. Y'all just don't know his name. That's what it's talking about. So this is why the brother, damn, I don't know if yeah, it's still here. The video's still on YouTube. GMS YAHAWAH and QADASH. I don't know why I'm not subscribed. Alright, this was in 2015, so he's been saying this. Okay?
That the names of the Father Yahweh and the name of His Son Yahawashi are very important. So with that, I hope you brothers learn something. Until the next time, I say shalom. So don't listen to these clowns out here that tell you you don't need it. So
low key, it sounds like Apostle Ariam loud.
So
but you hear that?
To these clowns out here that tell you don't need it.
He said, don't listen to these clowns out here, which is what they are, telling you don't need to listen to his name. You're crazy, because all throughout the scriptures it's showing you the importance of his name and that you need it to be saved, which we're going to go into. All right, how beautiful their names are. Don't listen to these clowns out here telling you don't need their names. Probably speaking about IUIC, because they're the main ones saying Israel united in Christ or some shit like that. That is infuriating, how deceitful and devilish our people are being. Our people be wicked, more wicked than the heathen sometimes. All right, these things are, you guys can look at this, man. Yeah, that's the channel, YAHAWAH and QADASH. And the channel's still up. The channel is still up. Y'all look through this, because this is gold right here. We need this. You need the real names. I'm gonna link this in the description as well. Alright. So new here just means a refresher. Like a refresher course. Just review what you learned. So it's not a literal brand new name. It's plain upon tables. This is Psalms 83 and 18. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahawah, art the most high over all the earth. Okay? You can't just take it at face value, because we know that this is a translation, transliteration, English, which the scriptures were translated from Latin, Greek, from Greek to Latin to English, and all these other languages. I can't even imagine. It might even be more confusing for the speckled bird, in, these different languages. Like I saw GMS Arabia, but they got it too. So maybe not. I don't know. But it's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi that his true men are able to comprehend these things and teach others also. Alright, this is Acts 4 and 10. Be it known unto you all, and to all the people of Yasharallah, that by the name of YAHAWASHI HaMASHAYACH of Nazareth, whom ye crucified, whom Yahweh raised from the dead, even by him doth this man stand here before you whole. Through the healing of Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi, the man was able to be healed. He stood before us, before them, whole, healed. He was made whole again. He was healed. Acts 4 and 11. This is the stone which was set at naught of you builders. Just like in the Boondocks opening, I am the stone that the builder refused. The stone that the builder refused was set at naught, meaning set aside, cast aside. The stone that the builder refused, which is become the head of the corner. The stone that the builder refused became the main foundational building block. Again, you niggas don't know him. You guys deny Yahawashi. He's gonna say he never knew you because you denied him. He's gonna turn his back on you. You denied his name and the importance of his name, so he's gonna deny you. You don't know him. If you say you know him and you don't keep the Lord's commandments, you don't really know him. You're a liar. And that goes for his name as well, because it's a commandment, to run to the Lord, the rock that is the Lord, to praise his holy name. Thou shalt have no other gods before me, but you're doing that by calling on these idols, these false names, and you don't even know what they mean. Don't you think that the Lord's name would have a meaning? You're saying Jehovah, but that doesn't even mean anything. You have to use the original language. This literally makes no sense to say Jehovah or to say Yahweh or Yahuwah or whatever. That's not a translation. If you were to call on him in English, instead of Jehovah, how you would really have to say is, you would have to say he exists every single time you refer to him. Praise he exists. His holy name, he exists. You would have to say that every single time. But you're not saying that. You're saying these false transliterations, and then claiming that it's a translation when it's not. Just say Yahweh. It's really not that hard. But you guys have these stiff-necked spirits, just like Israel did before. I'm telling you, these people that know that they're Israelites, they literally sit there. They'll hear you and they will refuse to listen. They'll refuse to change their ways. We're literally showing you all the proof. The apostles and elders on down literally will shove it in your face, and you will sit there and literally just I keep on saying literally because it's just insane. You will just sit there and literally refuse to use his true name. Like, what is wrong with you? Niggas will read your tweet and sit there an hour later and tweet the same bullshit using the same false name. Why are you doing this? And none of you can actually prove how you got the name that you got, because you heard some white Christian say it, and then you just took that thinking that they know what they're talking about. Once again, following your oppressors. But when your brothers that are literal scholars, painstakingly researching, putting these resources together for you, and other brothers like me are pushing it out, linking you over and over, and you refuse to read it. Why are you doing this? Literally, you niggas are fitted to the Lord's wrath. You have that strong delusion, the spirits on you that made you so stiff-necked and not use the name no matter how much proof is in your face. Like, what is wrong with you niggas? This is why we know Israel hath not obtained that which they seek it for, but the election hath obtained it, the rest were blinded. It's just thinking about it, it's just so crazy to me. That's why I get so flustered, but at the end of the day, I know why. Because it's only a remnant, you know? And if the Lord really wants you, He'll humble your ass and make you listen sooner or later, you know, when the going gets tough. Yahweh! Jesus save me! You're not going to get an answer. Hopefully, you get corrected before it's too late, you know? Which has become the head of the corner. Verse 12 now, this is a point. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men, whereby we must be saved. Must. There's no way around it. There's no other name. It's YAHAWAH and YAHAWASHI. 2nd Ezra chapter 2 verse 42. Alright, we'll close it out right here. I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised Yahweh with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel, and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh. Now are they crowned, and receive palms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things, and how great wonders of the Lord thy power thou hast seen. So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. I pray that the lesson was edifying, and that you check on these resources, go into it, take some time out of your day to learn a few words, you know, some of the more commonly used words that you see brothers and sisters using. And you need to be like the ones that were crowned, that stood so stiffly, that run to the name of the Lord. Alright, because He is our strong tower. And call upon His name, because you need it to be saved, as the scriptures clearly stated. And I pray that you abide in the faith, think upon and meditate upon the words of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI day and night. Continue to, you know, build up your faith, your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding for the stability of our times, so that the Lord may protect and have mercy upon us in these last days, because we're coming into trouble now. Alright, we're coming into Jacob's trouble, and the end of this world, the end of Esau's world, very, very, very soon. Okay, we're almost out of here, man. So abad babal, Kwam Yasharallah, Shalom to the hopeful elect, and blessings, honor, glory, and power unto Yahawah wa Yahawashai. Shalom.